what's up, gamer fans? Well, obviously I've been delaying the review of this one on 3DS. Mario and Luigi Dream Team, aka Mario and Luigi 4, I guess you can call it. Yeah, this is of course the fourth installment in the series, and the first on the Nintendo 3DS. The first one was Mario and Luigi Superstar Sega, which in my opinion actually originated the whole idea of it, which is obviously Mario RPG style, coincidentally from Mario RPG, which of course premiered on the Super Nintendo. Seemed a little gimmicky, but it was pretty awesome, even though it was just Mario and this other character I haven't even heard of. But of course Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga just blew my mind. I absolutely adored that game on Game Boy Advance, playing as both Mario and Luigi at the same time. And I thought the story mode was really cool. It was cool to see that Bowser himself was not really the main villain of the story. He helps out, and then sort of becomes the main villain, even though it's Kakalita, and, goes inside the body of Bowser and becomes Boletta. But needless to say, it was awesome. I loved it. It was funny. It has a lot of that, text reading of the dialogue, but it's really funny. I loved it. It was a great game. I thought the music was great. I thought visiting a new kingdom that's not Mushroom Kingdom was awesome. I absolutely loved it. Then, of course, there was the sequel, Partners in Time. The idea was kind of clever, seeing not only Mario and Luigi, but also Baby Mario and Luigi at the same time. The music soundtrack was not quite as good. The gameplay was fun and addictive and challenging, of course. I thought the last boss in the game, the very last boss, was like one of the hardest ever, being that it takes like forever to beat her, because you gotta beat the alien and then her sister, which is the one, as I mentioned just a second ago, which it takes forever to beat. It took me almost like an hour, I think, or even more. But I thought it was cool, and to see also Baby Peach for the first time. It wasn't as good as the predecessor, since that one just blew my mind, but I still enjoyed it on DS. And then, of course, there was the sequel, Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. The concept seemed a little gimmicky, but I thought it was pretty funny. It was pretty cool controlling Bowser, and it was cool to actually see the irony of Bowser becoming a hero for the first time. Well, maybe not the very first time, but you know what I mean. It was cool, though. I did think, having to blow into the DS got a little bit annoying. Having to tilt the damn thing, when you're playing as Bowser, was a little bit annoying. But it was actually cool at the same time. But the touchscreen thing was a little annoying at some parts when it was a little unresponsive. And especially having to blow in the damn thing to breathe fire. Cool, but a little bit annoying. But I thought it was a really fun game. A little less replay value, but it was fun, though. I really enjoyed it. As for this one, yeah, I didn't know what to say. I mean, Dream Team, what is this, another Mario 2, aka Doki Doki Mario? I mean, I know that was all Mario's dream, even though that was a fun game. But of course, this one is a little bit different. It actually makes Luigi look like a hero, actually, as I mentioned in my top 5 best video games list. I really enjoyed this one. I thought the ideas were a little bit weird, but actually pretty clever. Luigi dreams, and I guess that comes to show you anything can happen in anyone's dream. You got the multiple Luigis. You got Luigi becoming Luigi-Zilla, I guess, and fighting off any giant monsters, any giant Bowsers and stuff. I thought it was really cool. But of course, then again, it's just like when you play as Bowser in Bowser's Inside Story. Of course, you got to tilt the screen sideways. The 3D effects were cool for the most part, depending on if you played in 3D or not. It's a typical non-linear type game. You have to try to figure your way out and try to fight enemies. It's a typical Mario and Luigi style. It may seem a little familiar, but it is what it is. If you enjoyed those previous games, it's really enjoyable. I mean, boss fights were sometimes challenging, but still very fun. And of course, they added a new feature, which is sort of like a super guide, or, well, not really a super guide, that you can make it and play a boss fight if you think it's too hard and play it on easy mode. I'm not really too crazy about that idea, because doesn't it really take the integrity of challenge out of this game then, if you're not playing the boss fight? This is just my opinion, but doesn't that kind of destroy the purpose of it being challenging? I mean, a lot of times I play plenty of challenging Mario or even Zelda or Donkey Kong games, even though, of course, some of them eventually added the Super Guide, which I think is some of the dumbest idea I've seen. I mean, that's the worst thing ever. You're not even playing a stinking game, but this is like, well, I guess some people just complain about challenge and if it's too hard, but what are you gonna do? It's still, I guess if you want to see past that point, you gotta, beat the boss fight. But it's got pretty clever weapons. It's got really cool ideas. The soundtrack is great. The colors are great. The level designs are really cool. I'm trying to figure out where you gotta go. I mean, it's all there. It seems familiar, but maybe a little too familiar. But come on, is that a problem? Not at all. I mean, Christ, look at all the Zelda games. They're all the same design, but they're still fun. So this should be no exception. It's only the fourth one in this series of these kind of games. I mean, Christ. And I thought it was really fun. A really satisfying adventure. So, in my opinion, I give it a Wii Remote up and a Wii Remote Wii Motion Plus up. I think that's fair enough. So, till next time, happy gaming.